I guess when I made it, I picked a too common name, and then I realized like you did say pick a name that basically doesn't exist because they were asking the
Right.
question like, "Oh, did you live here? Do you know this person?"
Let's say the second account you make, right, and it gets suspended, now the first account's at risk. So that's like the way the algo works, yeah? There's a case of a guy who made 3 accounts, and then his first account, he was just bad operator though. He got below standard, and then one by one, all of them got taken down. All right, tell me what's going on, man.
Just vibing, doing my running up more accounts. And last week I had one of the accounts got MC11. Not worried about that one. But then this week I had one more that got MC999, one of the new ones. I tried to call them and they were like asking me questions. Like, I guess when I made it, I picked a too common name, and then I realized like you did say pick a name that basically doesn't exist because they were asking the
Right.
question like, "Oh, did you live here? Do you know this person?" And so I'm not gonna get that one back. But now I know, like, okay, I gotta pick a name that you know
Doesn't
isn't
exist.
common. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So
it,
that I understand that now.
right. So not somebody else's name, but someone who doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
Right.
Now I get it. Now I get it because it
Bert,
makes sense. Like,
did you get MC999 on a new account?
yep, yep,
For me, bro, like the information like wasn't real, but like look, this is kind of a gamble, but I gave her my real name called late at night, and she asked me similar questions. It was like about my mother, and I
yeah,
was able to
yeah,
get that account back. So I don't know, just some anecdotal stuff there, just to let you know. I was able to get it back, but like I had to give real identity,
yeah,
and she just walked me through, and I guess she didn't cross-check the account, and she just reinstated me. So I don't know
yeah,
what happened with you, but like yeah.
Very
yeah. I
interesting
mean,
story. Like so just to be clear, sorry Farouk to cut you off, because that was pretty
yeah,
interesting. You had like a variation name, but on call you gave her your real name and address, and
No,
then
just
yeah,
my real name and date of birth, real date of birth, and she was able to link me to my mother, and she asked me some specific questions about
yeah.
my mother,
Let me
and I
tell you what
answered them.
happens. So they do a credit check, right?
Interesting.
So if
Yeah.
you look at like your Equifax or like I don't, you guys have Equifax in the States, or is that a Canadian thing?
yeah. We do.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, if you check your credit statement, either TransUnion or Equifax, you'll see that eBay did a credit check on you, and that's how they're generating these questions.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah,
Jonathan, why would you do that though? Why would you risk it? Isn't the whole point of giving, the variation and
bro,
you know?
I would say the exact same thing. But like, again, like it's why we do it because it got random banned for no reason. So I just took the gamble and I called late at night and there was a woman with an accent and I just decided to
Yeah,
roll. And
yeah,
it's been
yeah,
reinstated now for a month and she didn't mind. She was very polite and it was very
yeah.
awkward because
Wait, if
the
an
stuff
account
on the
gets
account didn't match. It was fine though.
That's
if an
cool,
account
man.
gets banned, why can't you just why do you need fake information if they'll reinstate it if you just give your real info and they validate it?
Because you got
Um,
Is it
lucky,
because I got lucky. Sometimes they just random ban you and you can't do anything. So
so
then you
even when you
burn.
call them, they won't help you?
Yeah, you put in your real info, they'll just burn you, and it's highest chance at account
bro.
creation. So
Do
that's
do not do not do what he did, because you're just fucking yourself. I mean, you can just return the mini PC, whatever. It's not that big of a deal.
yeah,
What if you just do real information from the beginning?
You're cooked.
yeah.
Not
Like
necessarily.
you
You
get
might
banned.
if unless you get
Well, I guess you
suspended.
can get it back, but like I got
Yeah.
mine back after getting MC11. But it's just like, why take the risk? Why?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of giving the
No,
alternative or a variation name,
My
people,
only fear is the IRS getting
yeah,
faked
bro.
out
They
and
can't do
getting
nothing,
SSN.
bro.
Aiden, I totally understand. You can there's lots of different ways people do it. I know a guy Rory does sole prop status change and that's where he puts in his real SSN and just does a slight name variation as like a typo and I guess that's been working for him. He's got 8 accounts with that. So I mean
Oh wow.
there's lots of different things people experiment with, but
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
guess that one's not really illegal if you're not providing a fake SSN,
yeah,
because the
I
real
mean
fraud is
uh
SSN. Everything else is
again,
not.
our intent is not to do anything like that. And people have all sorts, like I've talked to Clayka, people have all sorts of different opinions and ways of going about things. But I would say there's a lot of different options. There's no one way. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else
Okay.
is input on that, but
Yeah, because
Anyways,
I'm.
so like
Yeah.
the consensus is, like everybody has the autonomy and sovereignty to do whatever they want. right? So if anyone's not comfortable with it, then there's the agency model.
Totally.
There's many ways to go
Exactly.
about scaling your eBay dropshipping store, yeah.
No one
Or
should
you,
have to feel uncomfortable. Exactly. Yeah.
right, like yeah, like just like Klecko, like he like everybody has a different opinion on things. So like and I think that's the beautiful thing about being in the community, because so many different people, so many different types, and then we're gonna experiment and find out all the ways that work, because we have so many different streams of thoughts. You know what I mean?
Do you
Much
guys have an
agreed.
Sure.
example of like someone who got all their accounts burned because they didn't do status change?
Yeah, I mean there are people like that happen. I mean, there's a case of a guy who made three accounts, and then his first account, he was just bad operator though. He got below standard, and then one by one, all of them got taken down.
Oh, it's not at the
However,
same time. It's just because he was a shitty drop shipper, and that's what screwed him.
yes, but
Okay.
like creating new accounts, there's always gonna be a chance of it getting suspended, even if like you have like you put all legit info,
If he gets
because
suspended right away, though, you have a good chance at getting it back, it seems like, though.
only if you only have one account
Okay.
associated with it. If you have like, if let's say the second account you make, right, and it gets suspended, now the first account's at risk.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like the way the algo works, yeah.